Hey guys, what's going on? Today we're going to look at some traditional knives and talk mostly about this knife right here. This knife is made by a company called Brother Knives. You can find them on Amazon. They're like $38. But what spurred this video is I was just watching Randy Johnson's latest live video, and he was going over watching other companies' videos from SHOT Show, and we got to Case knives. And one of the things that came up in the discussion is Case has all these new regular folders coming out, and personally, I thought they were all ugly. Ugly. Sorry, Case. I love you guys, obviously, because I have a lot of Case knives, but I just thought their folders were ugly. And we kind of came to the agreement as the group, really, that one of the things we would like to see Case do is instead of trying to make these new folders, why don't they try to keep up with the quality control so they can keep up with companies like Great Eastern Cutlery, or Jack Wolf Knives now is making some really nice knives, or even, because I brought this knife up, Brother Knife. They don't have names, they go by numbers, so I'm not even sure this is the 1507. One knife, one life. And I'll just go over this knife real quick. This is obviously, it's a lockback, kind of modern traditional. Real solid, nice carbon fiber handles. Stainless steel back lock and bolsters. VG10 clip point, very much like a Tony Bowes clip point, like a Lanny's clip type blade. And this knife's 38 bucks. And it comes from China, and it takes a little while. Yes, I've used it a lot. That's why the well is so dirty, but look how clean. And, you know, there's just so many things that are done right on this knife. Look at the square cut on the butt of the spring, nice and square and straight. No lines, no big monstrous gaps. It just needs clean more than anything. When the knife is open, the H looks fairly good. Everything's pretty flush. I mean, for a $38 knife, the fitting on the shield is decent. Yes, it's all beat up and because it's been carrying around in my pocket with a bunch of coins and stuff. And you're going to notice that with all these traditionals, I use my knives. But generally, really, really good quality for the quality, the materials, and the price. It's really hard to beat. So here's the thing. I understand there's a big labor pay difference between China and the United States. I would rather buy more Case knives than knives from China, except for this is like a $70 knife. This is a Case swayback, and you look at the fit on it, and it just, although this is really good for a Case, it's not very good. I mean, sure, it doesn't have gaps, but the fit to the bolsters, to the bone, isn't great. This one actually has a decent butt cut on it at the butt of the spring. The centering's off though. It is a half stop, which is kind of cool. But you look at that, and that's not, I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not great. The grind on the blade is okay. And I've hand-picked this, so obviously it's going to be a little bit better, and I'm sorry that I'm going to focus in and out. But that Warncliffe isn't perfectly flat. But this, for a Case, this is really good. But this, for this price, should be as good as that. But I'll show you some others. Let's take a look at this guy. Look at the cut on that. Look at that big gap right there. Definitely has issues. And look at this blade grind is, yeah. It's okay. It's not the best, but it's okay. This one actually with the sawbone saw blade bone is got pretty decent fit to the bolsters. But again, this is probably an $80 knife. So you're looking at $50 more than that knife. Let's look at this other case. This one right here. This was their 1 year, or their whatever. They do certain patterns for only a year. And a couple of years ago, they did Barlow's. So I bought this one. I don't know if it'll be valuable someday or not, but I did hand select it so you can see. One of my big things I look at is there gaps on the back, and there's no gaps on the back of this one. But again, the butt cut isn't square and it's got gaps there. And the spear point blade is ground not the greatest. It's really, really super thick ground at the tip. The edge is not very good. You can see right there, there's a weird gap thing right there going on. Not the best bolster to bone fitment there. Just not awesome, you know. And here's part of one of probably the knives that people compare mostly traditionals to. This is a GEC. This is the Pemberton, little tiny guy, but really nice transitions. Everything's nice and smooth. The cut on the butt of the spring is nice and square. The half stop's nice. The grind on the blade is perfect. No gaps. You can't see any daylight through there. The spring is not flush in the half stop position, but that's okay. Some people care about that. I don't. But everything's nice and flush. No gaps on the back. No gaps around there. Really nice. And that one that came out was, I think, less than $80. This old guy, this old 38 is from 2017. Really nice. Pinched bolsters. Red bone. It's like a corn cob pattern on it. It's pretty nice. Pinched on both ends. Really nice fitment. Nice clip point blade, which is ground really nice. All the writing, the Northfield unexcelled is pretty much worn off of it. This knife, like I said, 2017. Fairly decent edge on it still. Nice. It looks like a grandpa knife. I am a grandpa. So that's cool. And then here we got a queen cutlery that I had to actually fix myself. I had to go through and sand all this. This is supposed to be black linen micarta. Look at the fitment on the shield on that. It's terrible. I got totally suckered on this knife. I looked at it and thought, wow, this is amazing. It looked really good in the pictures. Look at that big chip out of the spring in the back there. And it's not cut very square, not very nice. Look how short the blade is and the blade well. No half stop. Does have matchstick jimping inside of the nail nick there. Just bad gaps. So American made. Not as good as fit and finish as these two, obviously, but nowhere near the price. Better fit and finish than all of these. Nowhere near the price. Better materials. Yeah, it's more of a modern style traditional, and yes, it's a lockback, which is different, but we should be hitting for their price, at least hit the fit and finish mark, the same as the Chinese. That's all I'd like to see, and I'd even pay more. Stop making ugly modern folders. That's not your gig. It really isn't, in my opinion. I mean, some of you out there may disagree, and you may look at this and go, "Oh, you're wrong. Everybody should try to make modern folders. It's okay." To me, that's not Case's gig. Case's gig is traditionals. Make better traditionals. Make better traditionals. Keep up with the competition. I'm not asking you to make a $38 knife. Obviously, I know you can't do that because you don't have the labor costs like they do in China. But you could make a knife with the same fit and finish, and I bet you could still make it for close to $100. And I would pay $100 for an American-made one over $38 for that. And then also for GEC, why can't you use VG10 or a modern stainless? I would go back to buying GECs if they would come out with more stainless versions that had a decent stainless, not just, I think they did some knives in 440C or 420HC, one of those two. You could use VG10, you could use N690, you could use, there's lots of softer stainlesses that are easier to work with. 154CM, a lot of knife companies have used that. And American companies have used 154CM. So why not do something like that? Keep up with these guys. I guarantee you'll still sell knives. I'm not saying this has to just be for me, but, we got to keep up. We just got to keep up. And there's a reason that I have a lot of my favorite knives aren't even made here. Like, this is probably one of my favorite Spydercos, and unfortunately, it's made in Italy. Because it's got a little bit better. I like this better than their average. I don't really like the FRN from Spyderco or their G10 for that matter. So, I don't know what this knife goes for now, but surely they should be able to make an American model knife that closely competes with this. I would think that isn't too overly expensive. This is probably my second favorite Spyderco, and it's actually made in the United States. And, I don't know what this knife would cost if it came with the titanium on everything. I don't know, probably $200 and something because it costs a little bit more. But I bought this for the steel, and it was still like around $140 something for a Paramilitary 3. And I remember when Paramilitary 2s, which is a bigger knife, probably not as expensive as steel, were under $120. I don't understand. I mean, I get everything's gone up, but it seems like they could do more to try to compete, in my opinion. And then the other part is, when there are American OEMs and American makers, the big challenge is not only are they expensive, but even when you find some that are fairly affordable, you can't get them because they're totally, like Three River Manufacturing. Try to get an TRM Atom or whatever they're called. They are constantly out of stock, which is a good problem to have for them, but kind of stinks for the rest of us, So anyway, I just wanted to throw this video, and Randy, I hope you're checking it out. This is that brother knife I was showing you about, or telling you about. I just would like to see us compete better. Do better. If we can't compete better in price, compete better in what you do with your knives, the steel or something. Do something better to make them more desirable. Gradius and Cutlery, I've pretty much got out of their game just because of, again, try to get one. They're great, and I understand that they're trying to keep a niche market, and I understand that they're trying to be exclusive, and it drives the value of the aftermarket knives up, and there's a lot of people who like that. I don't. I think it's a shame that, I don't know, I bet you I could put this on sale. Well, probably not now because I don't have the tube, but if I had the tube and everything, I could probably put this knife up for sale for $140 and sell it pretty quick. And it would only cost me like 70 or 60, if that, for a little teeny tiny knife, but only because you can't get them. They're all sold out because they don't make very many of them. Not because there's anything super special about it. It is a nice made knife, And there's no reason that the quality of this knife doesn't match the quality of that knife. In my opinion, I mean, do they really have that much better equipment there than they do here? Or that much better people or whatever? You know, figure it out. Figure it out. You guys can do better. There's new machinery out there. There's lots of people out there who probably be interested in a good paying job that could do a better product, you know? I don't know. I don't really know the knife market well enough to know. Maybe they just can't find people, but if you can't find the people, create the machines that do better quality. You know, I don't know how else to put it. There's so many different CNC machines and things like that that can help the quality. So anyway, that's my rant a little bit about this. Get your wife and kids, turn off the TV, get out and enjoy the outdoors. Please like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I'll talk to you later. Toad Sticker out.